list. Okay, keep the... Internet, hello and welcome to this week's Koi Cubed. I hope you are well. I hope you've had a great week. It has been quite the week on my end as the world starts to open more and more. This week, we'll be talking about some really shitty news in Arclight. We'll be talking about some fun news in movie casting. We'll be talking about a bunch of new trailers because the world is healing and movies are coming back. We've got a lot to dive into, and we'll talk about some sweet, sweet schmodown. We'll talk about some curls. We're gonna just have a whole Koi Cubed time. The chat is live. Things are working. I am glad to be here. I hope you are as well. Hello, my dear Koi Pond. All right, let's get into a bit of news. Let's kick it off with, let's get the bad news out of the way. Let's talk about the shittiness that is the situation with Arclight. This is not necessarily permanent. Things can always change. I know there's a lot of buzz on Twitter, and I know that Hollywood is conceptually the hub of entertainment and film, and Arclight is the hub of Hollywood. So if ever there was a theater to rescue, it would be Arclight. But as of now, as of press, as of this moment, I know Brad, I feel like he's staring into my soul today. For some reason, it felt more intense. I'm so fucking bummed about Arclight. I'm such a fan of the experience of Arclight. Arclight is its own unique entity in that it's a movie lover's movie theater. You don't hear about people complaining about people talking in an Arclight movie. It's not allowed, and also that's not the kind of people that go to Arclight. You don't hear about these horrible instances of this being out of focus or that not working, because it is run by people that care. It is run by people that are fully invested. So seeing something like the entire Pacific Theater chain crumble right as it seems like we've turned the corner is really brutal. 2020 and 2021 are both just awful. But it does feel like things are getting better. It does feel like there's hope. It does feel like there's optimism. So this was a really hard blow because it felt like the peak of bad 2020 for me. There's nothing quite like Arclight. And to lose it is a really, really rough thing for the entire movie industry. They wouldn't let you into the movie if you were more than 5 minutes late. If you're 5 minutes into that movie, you're not touching that seat. You'll get a refund. They had hands-on people standing at the base of the theater to make sure that its quality, sight, and sound were excellent. There's a reason that was every director and filmmaker's favorite movie theater. It also was one of those places that every time you went, you'd either run into someone you respect and admire or a friend you haven't seen in years. It is like Comic-Con. There's a guarantee you will fall into someone that you love and respect or a friend, and it's just so hard to think of it as not being around anymore. Also, selfishly, I loved the Americana. I am a big Glendale just fan. I love that neighborhood. And the Americana, one of the reasons I moved to Glendale was to be able to walk to the Americana. I lived over there for 4 years and I loved it. I'd walk to the Americana with my Movie Pass back in the prime days of Movie Pass. My first red carpet after Infinity War was at the Pacific Grove Theater, which also was closing, so I have strong memories of that theater. My first red carpet I ever walked, like as a guest, was at Arclight. I went to the Pitch Perfect premiere at Arclight, Arclight Hollywood, so many important memories beyond just the movie going. It was where I saw the Marvel movies with my friends. It was where if something was really important to me, I'd go see it, except Fast and Furious, because that shit's too fancy for Fast and Furious. But all my other franchises, except Fast and the Furious, I was an Arclight junkie, and I live wicked close to it now. And one of the reasons I wanted to live in the neighborhood I live now is so I could walk to Arclight, and it is a real bummer. I'm really bummed. So I'm hoping someone can rescue it. I'm hoping some company swoops in, some Netflix conglomerate. Disney Plus has their LCAP. There were regulations about studios owning movie theaters and that being a conflict. I do feel like with all the AMC bailouts, there is a different fear there. I'm not as worried about AMC, but Pacific is a giant, giant part of the fabric of LA. LA doesn't have as much of a culture and community as some other cities I've lived, and the film industry is one of the rare things that we can all agree on. Losing Arclight feels like losing a family member. It feels like losing a brother in arms. So I'm really bummed about it. I don't want to talk about it the whole show, but goddamn does that suck, because I am such a fan of the precision, the care, the love, the just, it's a cinephile's movie theater, and I'm gonna miss it if it doesn't find a way to get back open. So yeah, that's all I got to say about Arclight, and I want to transition to good news and thank Hold My Brick in the chat, sending some love via Streamlab. Much appreciation, Hold My Brick. one of the newest patrons over in the Patreon, and he is now in the Discord. He is welcome. He is one of us, and he is an appreciated member of the Koi Pond. So thank you, good sir, Hold My Brick, for being with us as always. Good man, I appreciate you. All right, let's get to some good news. Let's transition out of the Arclight sadness into some fun casting. Lucy Liu has been cast to play Helen Mirren's sister in Shazam 2. I want to play that sentence back for you. Lucy Liu has been cast as Shazam 2's villain, who is Helen Mirren's sister. If that doesn't sound like a Mad Lib, I don't know what does. Big fan of Helen Mirren, big fan of Lucy Liu, big fan of Shazam. This excites me to no end. It is a new character. It's a character being written for the movie. I think that works, to be honest. A lot of the Shazam villains are a little tricky to translate. To be honest, a lot of the Golden Age heroes are tricky to translate. It's one of the reasons I love Shazam so much, is I did not expected to like it. I didn't expect to love it. It's one of my favorite DC films, hard stop. So the bar is really high. It's also been a little bit of time, and those kids were in puberty then. They're going to be like 7 feet tall by the time this movie gets out. So it is going to be really interesting to see the different dynamic of this film, the different elements to it. So I'm really glad they're bringing in such heavy hitters as fucking Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. All of this, very exciting. It's one of my most anticipated sequels because of how much I love the first one, so I'm really fully endorsing this casting call. Lucy Liu has been, popping up in TV lately. She was a force of nature in the early 2000s all over the pop movies, but now she's been focusing on other things. I'm a fan. So she is in Shazam 2. I am excited. We will see what happens from there. As a new character, Calypso, Helen Mirren's sister. So, what a fucking time to be alive. What a time to be a nerd. Helen Mirren's sister. Insane. Speaking of what a time to be a nerd, Moon Knight released some footage officially. It's not paparazzi bullshit. Official footage of Oscar Isaac training for Moon Knight, and it looks real stabby, I'm happy to report. This show looks like it might be some full-on TV, MA, rated R, Daredevil goodness. Everyone's been really surprised and impressed with how great the violence is in Falcon Winter Soldier. How much, great, I mean in the scope, not quality. I'm talking great. Also quality, but it's a closer to TV MA show than a lot of us expected. They expected, the level of violence that Marvel usually does, but if you haven't seen the most recent episode of Falcon Winter Soldier, I'm not going to spoil it this early into my show, but there's some violence at the end that a lot of people didn't expect Marvel to go to. So that being the Falcon and Winter Soldier, they've got a lot of wiggle for Moon Knight, and Homeboy definitely has a knife, and he's stabbing people in this stunt footage. He's training with a fake knife, not a real knife, but he's training with a knife in the footage, and it looks brutal. It's really hands-on. It's got that John Wick brutality to it. I'm so excited for him as Moon Knight. I was excited because he's a talented actor, but seeing him in stunts, those are the two sides of, the comic book character you want. You want the intensity, the talent, the acting, but you also want to believe them as a goddamn superhero, and Moon Knight is not an easy character to translate, so give me that goodness. I'm very excited for the footage that I've seen, and I cannot wait for more, and I'm so glad it's official, so I can tell you about it without feeling like I stole something from Oscar Isaac. Check it out. It's on YouTube. Oscar Isaac training for Moon Knight. Over to the world of Gundam. We talked about this about 3 months ago, but it seems to be making new rounds on the internet because Netflix is officially doing it now. The movie itself, or the show, whatever it's going to be, was announced forever ago, because I remember being excited because it was Brian K. motherfucking Vaughn teaming up with Jordan Vaught Roberts to do a Gundam live action. All of those words are exciting. Jordan Vaught Roberts is a genius director. Brian K. Vaughan is one of my favorite writers, period, ever, any medium. Hard stop, Brian K. Vaughan, goddamn genius. And he's a nerd, so he's going to be invested in Gundam. Plus, the idea of a live-action Gundam when they're legit building one in Japan is so fucking exciting. There's a full life-size Gundam. It's not going to be able to fight, but it can walk, and it's real. We live in crazy times. They're making a Gundam movie live action for Netflix, exclusively streaming on the Netflix service. I'm very fucking excited. Today's episode is brought to you by the word fuck. I'm in a good mood. I got some swearing in me. From good news, back to bad news. It's only bad news for me. A lot of people don't give a shit. The Oscars are once again not doing a host. They're not having a host the Oscars. One of my favorite things about the Oscars is the host. I like the spontaneity of little skits and stuff, but you can still have that in someone steering the ship. The last few Oscars that the host just felt like it was an SNL skit where there was just series of bits. It's like one actor that's currently popular transitions over to someone that's super famous, and then the next commercial break, someone that's super famous transitions over to someone that's currently popular, and there's no glue. The host moves the pace. The host sets up the stakes. The host is vitally important. I am obviously a host, so I care about hosting. The Oscars need a host. I don't know anyone that's super invested in this award season. The SAG Awards were fun. The Golden Globes were fun. It's not the same this year because of how messy everything's been. But the Oscars need a fucking host, and they should have had someone of like to really bring everyone back to it. I'm curious if it's a budget thing. I'm curious if it's a minimizing contact thing. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I'm quite bummed. So no Oscar host this year. It is what it is. I have obviously no control over it, but I know it affects my experience of viewing. We've also got, in the world of movies themselves, Godzilla vs. Kong is about to take over box office championship from Tenet. Now, Godzilla vs. Kong is already the #1 domestic grossing film during the pandemic, and Tenet was, espoused as the ultimate gonna save cinemas movie, and I loved Tenet. I'm not making fun of Tenet. It's just that was the advertisement. It was like the movie to bring people back to the cinema. Godzilla vs. Kong is a movie it's arguably not going to be as good at home because it is made for the biggest screen, as is Tenet, but it's got a broader audience. I feel like Tenet is for film fans and action thriller fans. Godzilla vs. Kong is like age 2 to 92. So it is owning domestically and now owning words internationally. It is currently sitting at 326 million worldwide. Tenet made a little over 363 worldwide. So by the end of the week, Kong versus Godzilla versus Tenet. Kong will dethrone Tenet. It's also making more of a profit because Tenet was more expensive. They broke it down over at Deadline. You total up the revenues, that gets Godzilla versus Kong 32.6.4. Take away 160 production budget and an estimated publicity and advertisement of 70 million, which it's not as high as most budgets would be because they had a lot of marketing through HBO Max and all that stuff. And then you've got about 96 in profit, which is really impressive for these times. It is really impressive for the things we're going through. Those numbers would not be as high and mighty in 2019, but in 2021, those are some fucking numbers. So congratulations to Godzilla vs. Kong. I quite enjoy it, and it is giving me hope. The reason it's in the rundown is it's giving me hope for the future of movie theaters, because movie theaters, this is a day and date HBO Max situation. This could have been a fucking flop in movie theaters, but people are still seeing it because it needs to be going to movie theaters. It needs to be seen in the big proper setting. So this gives me hope that movies can stream and play in movie theaters simultaneously, because people do crave the actual theatrical experience. Sorry, Spidey is begging for food and he just ate. So I am a big fan of this doing well, because it proves a point, and hopefully studios keep wanting to invest in the theatrical experience. Also this week, Warner Brothers / HBO announced next year, 2022, we will be back to a theatrical window. HBO Max is not getting things day and date. It is going to be a movie theater time again next year. So very excited for that. Over to movie trailers. 2 big trailers dropped this week, both in the last 48 hours. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard dropped with Ryan Reynolds, Selma Hayek, and Samuel L. Jackson, the sequel to a very surprise hit, Hitman's Bodyguard, which is so much fun. It's a great buddy cop action comedy, which is my fucking shit. Next to comic book movies, the buddy cop genre is my thing. I really love the first one. You put Ryan Reynolds and Sam Jackson together with Selma Hayek, you're gonna have a good time. The sequel looks like a real fun time. Now, the other trailer that dropped, I recommend you go watch that trailer. The other trailer that dropped was much more of a surprise in tone. The sequel to the first movie is likely gonna feel like the first movie. Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard feels a lot like Hitman's Bodyguard. This movie is probably the most fun I've seen anyone have in a Zack Snyder film. No disrespect to Zack Snyder, he just has a very somber tone about his films very often. Army of the Dead looks like a blast. It looks like it has all of the scope and enormity and tonality and texture, there's the word I was looking for, of a Zack Snyder film, which is a high praise because Zack Snyder is one of the best visual directors in the game, but it doesn't look like it's as taking itself seriously and somber as some of his other work. Now, Watchmen needs to be that. Guardians of Ga'Hoole, I've never seen. Sucker Punch is very ponderous and serious and somber. I personally don't see Superman that way, but this take on the universe does. So I've been excited to see what he does with something that's a bit more lively, and holy shit, this movie looks exceptional. the zombie genre is a tried and true one. They're playing with some stuff. They're playing with some different elements of the zombie genre. I loved the zombie tiger in the trailer. I love the cast. Dave Bautista is actually a really talented actor and an action star. Those things don't always go together. Tig Notaro is obviously running Twitter right now with how much of a boss she is. I really think this is a great opportunity for Zack Snyder to show people that don't like Zack Snyder movies that he makes some fun shit. He also, came up through a remake of Dawn of the Dead. He knows the zombie world. This looks like the best of all worlds. The greatest hits of Zack Snyder. Casting, tonality, playfulness, action, visual scope, all of it. This trailer really surprised and impressed the hell out of me. It went from being a movie that I was excited for, because I like Zack Snyder, to a movie I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Comes out in May. It's out next month. So next month on Netflix, we get some sweet, sweet Army of the Dead goodness. If you haven't watched the trailer yet, I was so impressed. Genuinely impressed by this trailer. All right, that's it for trailers for the week. Over to real-world stuff tying into movies. Antoine Fuqua and Will Smith are doing a movie together called Emancipation, and they were set to film it in Georgia. There's a ton of tax breaks in Georgia. There's a ton of reasons to film in Georgia. Most things film at least some of the things in Georgia. It's a giant hub for movie making. Well, they just pulled out Emancipation from Georgia. It is no longer filming in Georgia because of the very, very nefarious and shitty legislation on voter rights that just went down in Georgia. They put their money where their mouth was, which I fucking respect, and they bailed. They left. So they're no longer filming that movie. They're no longer going to give them the money to make things harder for people to vote. And I really respect that. Especially a movie called fucking Emancipation. If that had given money to the state of Georgia, like, what the fuck? I'm really proud of it. Like, I love when, you can make some sort of statement with your money. I love when you can vote with your money. I always say, support things you give a shit about, because the only way things get to keep happening is money. Unfortunately, that's how this world works. So, I hope something like that happens with Arclight, where people put their money where their mouth is, and I hope that we keep making better and better movies and TV shows because of us voting with our eyeballs and our wallets. I think it's great that Will Smith and Antoine Fuqua fucked off from Georgia, because Georgia's done some shitty shit in the legalese of late. The state of Georgia, obviously Stacey Abrams is an absolute boss, and she's the reason we have the government we do in the national level right now. But at the state level, some really fucked up shit has happened with voting rights and people being seen as people, and I really love what they did. So put it in the rundown because I want you guys to look into it. Antoine Fuqua and Will Smith's movie Emancipation got the fuck out of Georgia, because the stuff going on in Georgia is bullshit. I'm going to check the live chat before I move on. It's going to be another kind of short week. There's not a lot of news this week, but I didn't want to miss you guys again. We're going to talk about Falcon Winter Soldier Episode 4 here in a moment, but I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody in the chat. We got some of the OGs in here, like the great Michael McCarsell. We got Travis Earl. We got Hold My Brick putting in work. Vanco talking about that sweet, sweet city of Vancouver. Darth Vader as well. Lots and lots of Vancouver love in the chat today. Let's see. Comic Perks with Jimmy. Good, sir. Oh, shit. Heal up, Comic Perks with Jimmy. He's been sick for 2 weeks. I am sorry. Feeling much better. There's a lot of get well wishes in this chat, and I want to extend mine as well. Feel better, Comic Perks. That is a shitty, shitty thing. Feeling sick, especially in COVID times, is extra terrifying, so all of my love and well wishes. That absolutely blows. Darth Vader sending more love. Good people in the chat. Not Rick Morris. I agree, it's not that dark, but I'm glad to see it is looking like that on screen as well. Curtis Mason, what up? All right, let's get to Falcon Winter Soldier Episode 4. If you've not watched Episode 4 yet, I will be talking spoilers in this next conversation. I give you a 5 to second warning or so. I hate to see people leave, the numbers go away, but I don't want to spoil one of the best experiences I've had on a comic book show, which was this week's episode. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Episode 4 I have called, well, there's John Walker. John Walker in the comic books is a fascist zealot who believes he's right at all costs, and that's what makes the character interesting, because all heroes and villains believe they're right at all costs. People that have conviction to that level, it depends what side of perspective you're on. John Walker doesn't think he's a bad guy. He thinks he's doing what's right for America. To not get into it too deeply, most Americans that do fucked up shit think they're doing what's right for America. One of the biggest problems we have right now is patriotism and fascism are a tricky line. So it's great that the show is addressing that. John Walker is a lot, and he's a lot in the comic books, and the show went places I didn't expect them to go. Before we get to the last 2 minutes, I do want to say the dichotomy between Falcon and Winter Soldier is being so well handled here. We're seeing why Falcon should have the shield, not Bucky. Bucky, they both wielded the shield in the comic books, so a lot of people were upset that Bucky never got to. I loved the back and forth in Endgame. Just a couple beats of back and forth, but they really fucking nail it in this episode where they have Falcon showing how altruistic and noble and good and like Steve he is, and fucking Bucky's got PTSD out the ass and he's going through a lot of trauma. That acting, man, Bucky, dude, Sebastian Stan, just in the first 5 minutes of this episode, homeboy needs Emmys. Just incredible work, and Bucky Barnes is not fit to lead the country as a symbol. He's got a lot of skeletons. So I love that they're showing all that. I love that the whole world is watching is an actual political chant. Actually, ironically, it's a chant that's featured in Trial of the Chicago 7, which is all too topical considering it's 50 plus years old. The actual event and the movie that's out right now feels very topical. So does the whole world is watching concept. Look into that chant. I loved seeing the Winter Soldier transformation. I loved hearing White Wolf. I loved having Dora Milaje in the show. Seeing AO at the end of last episode was great. Seeing a full-on Dora Milaje fight, taking down Battlestar and John Walker, and having fucking Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan just like, look at the strong John in the background was genius. It had so much plot furthering. It had so much great character development. It had so much good action. That's how you do it in a good action thriller. You have the action tell the story, and that whole fight sequence told so many stories. Because the Dora Milaje are of Wakanda, they would wield the vibranium shield better than John Walker. So I love that they just handle that shield in that one little beat and then give it back. That's an important moment. The not stealing from Americans because they're the better people for it, even though it's their fucking stuff. Brilliant. John Walker getting his butt handed to him and then realizing they weren't even super soldiers. Brilliant. Him being pushed by that moment, then by Battlestar dying to take the super soldier serum. Brilliant world building. I love the Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever they happen to be. Makes me more excited for the Black Panther show that's coming. There's a full Black Panther Disney Plus show to come, and this was a great way to set up how that's going to feel. Thought that was genius. I really, really enjoyed how painful it was when John Walker said, John Walker, Captain America, because you're just like, ugh, Wyatt Russell is so good at walking the line of almost charming, but actually a dick. He's so good at being that jock in high school. He's so talented as an actor. He's so hateable, whereas Wyatt Russell is actually a great dude. So just full points to Wyatt Russell there. People complaining about the motive of the Flag Smasher has been pissing me off because the Flag Smashers have had a great motive for the whole show, and they've been slow burn revealing it, but for some reason people are so obsessed with binge culture, we're not getting the time to breathe in these motives. The motives behind the Flag Smashers is very altruistic. They're just doing it the wrong way. You don't kill people to prove a point, then your point gets stifled. They're saving lives, they're helping refugees, but then when they kill people, it takes away their actual altruism. So I love what the Flag Smashers represent. I love the altruism there. And I've been more and more impressed. Episode 2 was a little quickly paced for me. Episode 3 was genius. Episode 4 is one of the best paced episodes of a comic book show I've seen, period. I've just been so very impressed. And then the details they gave us. They gave us Bucky playing with the knife like Winter Soldier. They gave us, the Cap with the gun paralleling First Avenger. They gave us a lot of MCU references. If you want to see me fully break down the MCU references, I just started a TikTok. Over on TikTok, I've got the MCU references breakdown on there. And then if you want to see a longer conversation about me with episode 4, follow me on Instagram. I'm doing an hour-long video every single Friday for every Disney show. And then on TikTok, I'm doing breakdowns also on Friday. So this is me just giving my highlights, but a full hour breakdown on Instagram and a full breakdown of Easter eggs or references on TikTok is what I am doing with all that. Also, the highlight of the show for me is just still Baron Zemo. I don't know how Daniel Bruhl manages to be the most charming supervillain. He's so good. Marvel has learned so many lessons, and they lean into their supervillains. I didn't know if they'd be able to top Dancing Zemo, and then they did immediately the next episode. The charm, the curiosity, his moral code is so much stronger than almost anyone else's in the shows. He's on the wrong side of killing, but his moral compass is true north. It is supremacist to want super soldiers. It is terrifying to live amongst gods. His acolytes speech, all of the things he had to say weren't wrong. He's just, again, like the Flag Smashers, handling his ideology too extremely and causing death. So it's a really genius written show. Daniel Bruhl is in my top 5 Marvel villains now. Baron Zemo is genius. I want a Thunderbolt show. I want to see how this like Fine Lives of Anti-Heroes goes. And we've got a super chat from the great Curtis Mason. Curtis Mason, I loved the parallels of restraint between Walker and the heroes. The S.H.I.E.L.D. murder reminded me of Cap's restraint at the end of Civil War. Also, Bucky throwing the knife next to Flag Smasher's head instead of killing him. Yes, those 2 parallels are essential. Bucky has murdered, and we talk about he remembers every single one. The brokenness of Bucky is because he remembers every single one. He remembers killing Tony's parents. He remembers killing that guy's grandson. He remembers all of it. He can't sleep. He's tortured and suffered for it. Him not killing was a big moment, especially after just playing Winter Soldier in the bar in the episode before, and that slippery slope, like Zemo trying to cause a rift between him and Falcon by saying, like, look how easy he turns. It's important to show how good and how grown Sebastian Stan's Bucky has become. The dichotomy of the S.H.I.E.L.D. should not be understated. They literally did the same chopping motion into Iron Man. Iron Man's in an iron suit, and he stopped. He showed mercy. He showed restraint. Fucking Walker chopped that guy's head off. The guy that said he was a Captain America fan. These parallels are essential. Again, check my TikTok. I try to do like 6 or 7 references in a minute. I try to cram those minutes, my speed round skills. It is genius. The parallels are so much fun. And all it does is build to who's going to be the best Captain America, why Falcon should be Captain America. All of these things are so important to drive action and storytelling. The pacing of the show is exceptional, except episode 2. Episode 2 was a little rushed for me, but overall the pacing of this show has been exceptional, and I completely agree, good Sir Curtis Mason, with all of your points, and I appreciate the Streamlab very, very much. Thank you. We got another one from Comic Quirks with Jimmy. I love you all. These past 2 weeks suck, but I've been watching things that make me love being a fan. Do that as well. I agree. Also, watch Doctor Who. I have not watched Doctor Who. It is a very big, big bite of pop culture that I have missed, but do consume media that makes you happy. I love that, man. While you're sick, especially if you've got the downtime because you have to take downtime, absorb. Watch all those shows you didn't have time to watch before. Consume everything that you missed. At the top of quarantine, I don't watch shows quickly, but I finally watched Community. I watched West Wing. I watched Ted Lasso for a patron. By the way, I reviewed that last week. I've been watching a lot more shows because I'm usually a movie guy, but while we're trapped at home, consume. And if you're sick, you've got a fucking 18-hour window of rest, lay down, don't hurt yourself, watch stuff, enjoy your Doctor Who. Comic Works with Jimmy, feel much, much better, good sir. Keep enjoying art, keep enjoying staying sane through art, and all the Koi Pon's well wishes to feeling better. Wrapping up our little Falcon Winter Soldier episode 4 conversation, the Bucky arm flex moment of the episode, one of the moments of the episode, and then the final ending. That this is where I get my downvotes. That beautiful parallel to how horrendous the world is we're living also cannot be overstated. The fact that they have effectively police brutality shown in a government figure killing someone in broad daylight, which is what we just dealt with again this fucking week. It's what we deal with every day. Oh, I thought this gun was a taser. You're a fucking cop. Police brutality and government issue hero brutality is the same shit, and the show has not shied away from it. The show has leaned in to the fact that America's not the shiny piece of candy that we were all taught it was as kids. And you know, American exceptionalism is both naive and gone. It's a really fucked up time to be an American, and Derek Chauvin is on week 2 or 3 of a trial where he's on video killing someone. That's not a trial. Motherfucker should go to jail. Like, you don't put someone on trial that's on video murdering an innocent person. You don't. So this is a great show to use superheroes to tell stories that need to be told and to show people that might not watch the news how to handle this. I don't know, man. I think the show is really important. And I said when we were doing WandaVision, you know, all my subject matter about trauma and everything else is going to transition over to racism and America being what it is, and here we are. And the first 3 episodes did not lean out of the racism, the subtle and the overt. They leaned right on in. The bank scene, the is this person bothering you scene, all of that shit. Now we're into the full-on police brutality elements, and I'm so proud of Marvel. I'm so proud of Disney. I'm so proud of Disney for making it literally bloody, because blood sells, because it's sensational, because the world is sensationalized. The world is a lot. It's very loud. It's very big. It's cacophonous. You need stuff to draw your attention. That image of the blood on the shield will draw attention, and it's an important image. It's vital for people to see how fucked we are. So I'm proud of Disney, proud of Marvel, and I really hope that we don't have to raise kids in a world much longer that we have to explain shit like Derek Chauvin and this motherfucker with the taser gun that was a fucking gun. If you can't tell the difference between a gun and a taser, you shouldn't be a cop. You shouldn't have handcuffs, much less either of those weapons. The training is fucking insane. I'm embarrassed a lot, and I can't, for my own mental health, dive into it as often as I did last year because it really impacted my mental health. I'm an optimist. I care about people. I can't hate them, and I was hating humanity, especially Americans, so I'm a little less involved, but I will talk about it here with you. I'm less involved on Twitter for my own health. But I mean, like, even just now, we lost 10 followers, 10 viewers when I started talking about this. It dropped by 10. That's how it's going to be. I'm not gonna shy away from real shit because that makes me complicit. Not guilty, but complicit. So fuck racism, and fuck police brutality, and fuck 12. And I hope we can fix this. And I hope we can not have to explain this through superhero culture. It's a great outlet. Comics have been political since they started. But I would like to live in a world where it isn't as important to tell those stories. I'd like to live in a world where it's a past tense. I don't think it'll happen in my lifetime, but I hope it happens to my grandkids. I don't even think it'll happen to my kids. Maybe my grandkids. But I appreciate the fuck out of the ones of you that have stayed. I appreciate the fuck, again, out of Disney and Marvel for doing this and making it real. And I appreciate the fuck out of all of you who aren't racist, fascist pieces of garbage. Very sincerely. All right, that is going to conclude my soapbox. I'm going to check the chat real quick. Matty Gunner, I'm much appreciated, good sir. Lone Wolfpack, it's been a little bit. I haven't seen you in a little bit. Good to see you as well. America is as bloody as that shield. I'm already seeing the Walker was justified comments from people definitely paranoid in the real world. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of that. And when he is the villain of the story, they won't see that. They'll be like, oh, liberal Hollywood, blah, 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 blah. And like, we'll deal with that then. But if fucking one person sees that is wrong, then it's worth it. If we can get one fucking person to see the error in their ways or the error in their friends' ways, if we can wake up one, and this show's reach is so much bigger than that. If we can wake up 2% of who's watching the show from their bullshit, worth it. Not Rick Samoris. Actually, it sounds like George Floyd trial, which is annoying. That's why I've very consciously said Derek Chauvin trial, because George Floyd's not on trial. George Floyd is dead because of Derek Chauvin. George Floyd is a man who became an icon because of this evil. His name shouldn't be the title of this trial because he's not on trial. So I'm very consciously working on the language I have around that. So thank you. Yes, I do agree that is annoying and I hate that. So I've been very conscious of my language. I think the ads for Falcon Winter Soldier have... Wait a second, it scrolled too quickly. Mayday. Darth Vader. I think the ads for Falcon Winter Soldier have given too much info, but so it goes. I can practically plot out the next 2 episodes, or so it feels. I actually have not watched trailers since episode 1. I don't watch the teasers. I don't watch the next time on, because I agree. So yes, be careful and try not to overthink and overplot Darth Vader. Control. I know it's not easy, but I don't watch them anymore for that exact reason. So I agree with you by default, because I don't dive in. It is only 6 episodes, correct. Matty Gunner, life is real. We need to acknowledge the real shit. It cannot be skated over. Truth. Thank you, everyone, for the support of me soapboxing for a bit. John Getz, the great John Getz, patron saint of great suggestions. While you're on Disney Plus, check out the documentary The Imagineering Story. It is a fantastic look back at the evolution of Disney parks. Also, here's $1 for everyone left. Thank you for the belly laugh. I just woke up Spidey, who's in my lap. Much appreciated. Thank you. I really, it's a hard thing to do between me and the entire internet, so it's not really a secret because this is going to live on YouTube. I'm developing a bunch of stuff right now. I'm trying to get new shows to the caliber of where I was, not just me sitting on my couch talking. As much as I love this, and this isn't going away, I want to get some new irons in the fire now that the world's opening. So I'm developing a bunch of stuff, but it's really hard not to just go on insane tears on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And it's hard because I know those numbers matter to these suits and I know those numbers matter to these studios, but I hemorrhage followers every time. And it's easy to be like, oh, those people don't matter. I've let about 1,000 people not matter as far as following, because I don't want racists following me. I don't want fascists following me. I don't want white supremacists following me. I don't want nationalists following me. So I've been fine with it. But right now, while I'm developing stuff, it's really fucking hard not to just lose my shit and accept it. So thank you. That's a very, very direct appreciation of that, John Getz. Thank you for the literal dollar per person who left, because that is sometimes how it feels working on the internet. So sometimes it feels like I lose $1 every time I say some shit that loses 100 followers. So thank you very much. Spidey, I've got a single Spidey hair in my nose. Again, John Getz, patron and awesome human being, very much appreciated. And check out the Imagineering documentary, The Imagineering Story. I'm a big fan of Imagineering. I'm a big fan of creativity. I'm a big fan of what Disney has done with their parks. I'm not much of a park guy because I get motion sick, but the magic of parks is fucking outstanding. I do love the actual park experience, I do like 1 or 2 rides, have to sit down for an hour, 1 or 2 rides. But when Marvel Land opens, you best fucking believe I'm gonna have to go learn that shit. I'm gonna try to get like a Marvel pass because I don't have $200. But yeah, yes. Vanko, I feel that, man. COVID and people's response, it made me feel so awful. I need to be optimistic. I can't just be like, well, people suck. No, people are amazing. They just get drowned out by the jerks. Yeah, stupidity and ignorance have always been louder because the intelligent people fight back less by yelling. Like we are better than that. So the loud tend to be dumb, and that's another if you have 10 people are having kids younger and having more of them, and it's a real mess. And then those people, it's hard to get everyone educated, and it's hard to keep this country churning the way it's going. So I do feel like the dumb have won the volume war by population and by volume of voice and volume of amount of tweets and more things of volume. So yes, agreed. And I'll be polite going forward. Curtis Mason, I appreciate the fuck out of you. Various preaches, much appreciated. Lone Wolf Pack, it's been a while. I keep missing them. It's okay. Welcome back. I need to find a weekly schedule so I know when to tune in. We did move the show from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. In fairness, it is now later. Today was 5:30 because I had some schmo business to attend to, but welcome, man. You're always welcome. Anytime you can make it. Let's see. Hold my brick. By the way, my first clinical went so good, Coy. I wasn't 100% if I wanted to be an EMT, but now I do. I might even try to go to paramedic school next year. Guys, hold my brick. Saving lives. Had his first taste at EMT hood. Already is that paramedic lifestyle on the horizon? Am I fucking keep crushing? Am I going to be better and better and better? Saving more lives? You're goddamn right. Koi Pond is about positivity. It's about helping, and it's about moving the world forward, and you're doing that hands-on as fuck. Good, sir. Hold my brick, and we appreciate you very dearly. Tough job, I respect it. I agree. Lots of happiness in the chat. All of those things. All right. Same though. I love theirs. They're not as intense. I went to Disney for the first time a couple years ago while on a business trip. Took my mom. Aw, John Getz taking mom. That is adorable. Went in February and the lines were very short. As it was 60 degrees, which was too cold for Florida people. That's the move. Remy's art, because I keep it real. Thank you. Thank you. Because fuck the haters, and I appreciate that being so literal in this sense. Much appreciated. People do suck pretty consistently, but we don't let them in the koi pond. We have a very, very beautifully curated team of glory here, so I fucking love you guys. All right, last bit of news before we wrap up this week's episode. I've got some streaming recs, I've got some comic recs, but before we do that, I've got some Schmodown news. This Friday, Kevin Smith versus Stacey Howard airs on plain old YouTube. There was a Patreon pay-per-view situation last Friday. If it hasn't been spoiled for you, great. I'm not going to spoil it right now because it drops on regular old YouTube this Friday. Stacey Howard was the first person, along with Winston, I ever managed. This is the first time one of my faction is going against one of my old faction. I had to fight an ex-faction mate, man. It was hard. So it's a great match. You guys know I love Kevin, so I really want you to check it out. Check it out this Friday on regular old YouTube. Subscribe to the Schmodown. What else is going on over there? There's a match coming up between Josh Horowitz and someone. There is the teams tournament ramping up. There is the Star Wars tournament ramping up. There's a lot going on. I've been really schmo busy, and it's all about to come to a crazy head. And I'm hoping we get some movement on possible live events. Possibly. Because the world is reopening, and I miss seeing your faces in 3D. I miss hugs. I miss pictures. I miss the crazy after parties of the Schmodown. So I'm very much hoping we get some live stuff very, very soon. I just saw the Queen of Guessing just pop up on my phone. Yes, Stacey Howard is so good at just out of nowhere pulling crazy, crazy shit. Yeah. One more quick dive into the chat because I love seeing you guys' thoughts. Oh, by the way, I finally motivated myself to do my first run today. I felt like shit. Aha, but that must mean it's working. Thanks for the inspiration, Coy. Fanko, I was just about to get into curls. I was just about to talk about curls, and here you are, inspiring my curls conversation and inspiring me. I actually have to do a run today. I owe myself a run, and I'm not feeling it. I'm not excited about it, but I know I'm going to feel better after, and that was the last nudge I needed. Thank you very, very much. Also, we've got, if you lose people for being you, then fuck them. Exactly. Not to you, to them. This is love. This is them. This is you. We've got John Getz. I don't know who this Kevin Smith guy is, but I'm glad he's riding the Schmodown coattails to success. You know, I keep hearing his name everywhere, and I was like, bro, I don't know what you were doing before the Schmodown, but a little love, like just a nod, like a little... Dude, the fact that Kevin Smith loves the Schmodown as much as he does is... It's one of my favorite things I've done is be like, this guy gave me a childhood. Let me show him a thing he might like, and him loving it, fucking crazy. So yes. That guy, I think he's going places. He told me he wanted to direct. It's always tricky when one of your friends says they want to direct. You never know how it's going to go, but I feel like Kevin, he's got the eye. I think Kevin might make some cool stuff if he works hard. All right, next bit of news is curls. I am officially 13 days into my eating and meal prepping and going very healthy. I don't know if you guys have seen, but I did a bunch of meal prep posts. I'm eating pretty much just salads, lean meats, and grape nuts. Grape nuts is the only processed thing I'm eating. I'm eating grape nuts with almond milk in the morning, but then lunch is salad, various vegetables, plus a lean meat, either chicken or steak. We're talking like arugula, spinach, blueberries, carrots, cucumbers, green peppers, yellow peppers. What else is in my salad? That's like my core salad. It's in a jar. I meal prep it like a little fucking Pinterest salad. And then dinner, I'm doing stir fries. So I'm doing like your root vegetables, your broccoli, your Brussels sprouts, your cauliflower, all of that in like a stir fry with other meats, either the chicken or the steak. So that's currently my diet. For snacks in between, I'm doing various mixed nuts. I'm doing apples. What else am I doing for snacks? Yeah, my diet's very fucking lean and clean right now, but it's hard because I lived my life in March, but I really want to drop about 20 pounds. I want to get back in my like fighting shape. That is a lot smaller amount of numbers on the scale. No body shaming. Whatever weight you feel comfortable at, be. Like, live your life. Whatever you feel comfortable at. I feel comfortable at a smaller number. I have more energy that way. I just feel more like myself. I don't feel like myself at the current weight. That's why I'm choosing to lose it by running, by working out fucking hard as hell, and by changing my diet. However you choose to live is on you, and I want you to be happy, whatever that looks like. But I just... Trigger warnings are hard for me because I always forget to do them, and I know some people get triggered when talking about diet and dieting and exercising, so hopefully no one is negatively thinking of themselves because of my goals and outlook and outlet. So that's what I'm currently doing. I'm also doing a 4-to-3 split. I'm doing 3 days of cardio to 4 days of weights. I'm doing one muscle group of weights, 5 to 8 exercises, 4 reps of 8 to 12 reps, 4 sets, times 8 exercises. It's kind of what I'm doing every day. One day chest, one day back, one day bi, one day tri, one day shoulder, one day forearm, and then building up to doing 2 days. Cardio, I'm doing 10 miles on the bike or some miles on the street. Various things from there. But if you guys want to know more, tweet me and I'll send you little regimen stuff. A few people have DM'd me on Patreon and asked me a couple little questions, and it makes me happy to help if people are interested whatsoever. I don't want to bore the people that aren't as interested in the curl section of the show, but those that are, that is what I am currently doing. So single muscle group or cardio, 3 days cardio, 4 days muscle group. That is my current plan. Curls do get girls. This is the curl section of the show, because if you want to get girls and you're into that sort of thing, this is how I'm doing it. If you want to get guys, work your thighs. Soy Soy doesn't. That's just a food item. Strong thighs get guys. Curls get girls. However you lean, make it mean. I'm not a rapper. All right, moving on to the comic book recommendations. Let me give you guys some recs for the week. Before we get into the actual comics, though, I don't know if you guys saw an 8.0 Action Comics #1 sold for a record-breaking $3.25 million this week. A comic book sold for $3.25 million. Also, how the fuck was a comic from 1938 an 8.0? That is a pristine current book. Finding a comic at an 8.8 more than like 5 years old is hard. That book is from 1938. It was an 8.0. Good golly, Miss Molly, that is worth $3.25 million. But if anyone ever told you not to collect comics, they probably lived in the 90s when you shouldn't have been collecting comics. But good golly, Miss Molly, it's the right decision. All right, my recommendations for comic books for you this past week. The week of the 7th, my favorite books were Amazing Spider-Man 63, America Chavez #2, Batman 107, Firepower #10, Geiger #1, a new #1 from Jeff Johns over at DC Comics. It's a fun little read, fun new indie. King in Black #5. Actually, Geiger's probably an Image. Geiger's an Image Comics, but written by DC's Jeff Johns. King in Black #5, concluding the King in Black miniseries. Marauders #19, Noctera #2, Runaways 35, and Venom 34 are my top of last week. My recommendations for this week are quite long. Strap in. The books I'm picking up tomorrow are American Vampire 1976 #7, Batman Detective #1, Batman Urban Legends #2. By the way, Batman Detective #1 is Tom Taylor and a brand new #1. So Tom Taylor on Batman, fuck yes. #1 starts tomorrow. Highly recommend that book. Batman Urban Legends #2, fun anthology book. Black Cat #5, Challenge of the Super Sons #1, Children of the Atom #2, Daredevil 29, Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil Kid, Darkhawk, Heart of the Hawk #1, Fantastic Four #30, Guardians of the Galaxy 13, Home #1, Homesick Pilots #5, Iron Fist, Heart of the Dragon #4, Iron Man #8, Joker #2, Carmen #2, Maestro War and Pax #4, Nonstop Spider-Man #2 is probably my pull of the week. Chip Zdarsky wrote a hell of a Spider-Man, but Joe Kelly is my favorite Deadpool writer, one of my favorite Deadpool writers. Him writing Spider-Man makes me so happy, and art by Chris Bachalo is fucking everything. Highly recommend Nonstop Spider-Man. #1 was last month, #2 is this month. Very easy to catch up on. Get the fuck after it. Rorschach #7, Scumbag #7, Spider-Man, Spider's Shadow #1. That's a What If book. It's a new What If imprint, also by Chip Zdarsky, writing Spider-Man. Highly recommend. Superman #30, Thor #14, Wolverine #11, and Wonder Woman #771 are all the books that I'm excited to pick up this week. I just saw a couple glorious chats in here. Hold my brick, man. Curls get guys also. Equality. The number of exclamation points and the equality message using the same amount of Streamlab is so endearing and very true. Equality, curls also get guys. Curls get girls, curls get guys. I was trying to find a rhyme with guys, and I appreciate the fuck out of this other Streamlab yelling equality with exclamation points. You're goddamn right. Jacob gets it. John Getz, you said Venom wrong. It's pronounced Venom. If you guys don't know, Eminem has thoroughly and now in the Webster's Dictionary changed how Venom is said, and he is correct completely. King in Black concludes the Venom storyline that's been going on since the summer, and currently Donny Cates' Venom 34 is available, coming now to a local comic book shop to you. But remember, when you go to ask where it is, you have to ask for Venom, and then they have to recite that back to you as they hand you the receipt. Reposting during the comic section, I downloaded the DC Infinite app, but I'm finding a lot of the comics that have been recommended aren't there. Did I download the wrong app to have more options? I don't know. I don't have the DC Infinite app myself. If someone could help Lone Wolfpack 04 out in the chat, I get either codes from the studio or the publisher, or their comics I pick up at the local comic book shop. I do not personally have the Infinite app, but someone help Lone Wolfpack out. Raymond, did he talk about Jupiter's Legacy recently? Jupiter's Legacy is a great Mark Miller comic that is being adapted starring Josh Duhamel. And one of my friends is actually in that show. My friend Anna Akana is in Jupiter's Legacy. So she plays one of the heroes. So I'm going to see the homie Anna on a comic book show, which is really exciting. Seeing one of my friends embody a Frank Quitely drawing, a Mark Miller character, is so fucking cool. So yeah, That's coming out like fucking soon. So the comic book I recommend and the show on Netflix I'm very curious about. I did mention when the trailer dropped 2 weeks ago, but that's about all I've dived into it for me so far. Comic Crooks of Jiminy, buys for guys, Koi's for boys. Wait, you put me in one category there, sir. You put me in one. Koi tends to lean women, myself, but it does rhyme with boys. So I see what you did there, Comic Crooks with Jimmy. Biceps for guyceps, triceps for guyceps. Curls for girls just is it's so efficient. It's so lean. Unlike Venom, which John gets regrets, which it's fair. Venom, and then I recommend on streaming services, if you are a movie or TV viewer, there's not that much because it is the middle of the month, the beginning of the month, and the end of the month are usually when you get the newest, greatest thing coming out. But on Netflix, Rush is available on the 16th, and Synchronic is available on the 16th. Synchronic is made by friends of mine, Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead, who are doing a couple episodes of Moon Knight. So if you want to get a sense for how crazy Justin and Aaron make their content, check out Synchronic, available on Netflix on the 16th, 3 days from right now. Also on the 16th on Amazon is Songbird, which is a Michael Bay pandemic thriller that was made during COVID, which is very, very too soon. Then on HBO Max on the 16th, the big one, Mortal fucking Kombat. Mortal Kombat coming at you on HBO Max on the 16th. I am so fucking excited to see Mortal Kombat. I might see it in theaters. I got my second shot 2 weeks ago, so I'm inoculated. And, I'll wear a mask, but I want to see Mortal Kombat in theaters. That might be my first movie back. I'm whispering for some reason. Mortal Kombat on the 16th in theaters and on HBO Max, and I'm very, very excited. Dark Knight Rises is also inexplicably just now coming back to HBO Max on the 17th. So if you've watched the other two Batmans in the Nolan saga and want to see the third one, 17th is how you answer that call. So the 16th, Mortal Kombat, 17th, Dark Knight Rises, Mortal Kombat, my boy Lewis, cannot wait, so excited. Just shook on how many people, I'm just shook on how people can send Koi $2 even. I don't understand how Streamlabs works, but that is, Hold My Brick's got the $1.99 down. It's I see it as $2, even though it says $1.99, like figuratively, and yeah, there's some science to it. Rose for bros. So curls get girls, rows get bros. That's how it's done. We've solved equality here today. I think if we've learned anything, it's that this is how we solve equality, is with rhyming. Koi can have all the $2 bills I collected as a kid. Unfortunately, I forgot where I put them. Darth Vader, one day. John Getz, quick rec, Chainsaw Man is awesome. The description for it is Shonen Jump is... Quick recommendation, Chainsaw Man is awesome. The description for it on the Shonen Jump app is literally broke young man plus chainsaw dog demon equals Chainsaw Man. For those playing along at home, the description is broke young man plus Chinese dog demon is Chainsaw Man! Exclamation point. Guys, Shonen Jump, that app knows how to describe shit. If that's your cup of tea, which it should be, Chainsaw Man. And by the way, John Getz knows his anime. He's got me watching My Hero Academia, and I'm fucking loving it. And you know what I'm doing this week is starting tonight, after I go for a run, I'm going to be watching Star Wars Clone Wars, the 2003 one. I'm going to watch all 3 seasons. They're about an hour each for John Getz, and I'll be reviewing that on Thursday. So today, Koi Cubed. Tomorrow, I got a lot of work to do. Thursday, reviewing Clone Wars on this very channel. Next Tuesday, after Koi Cubed, we're doing a watch-along for Michael McCarcel of motherfucking Batman Forever. We did Batman Returns over Christmas. We're going to be doing the fucking insanity that is Val Kilmer's Batman next Tuesday. So this Thursday, Clone Wars. Next Tuesday, Batman Forever watch-along. Probably about 6:30 PST. I'm probably going to drink and watch it. So if you guys want to do a drink-along with me. Also, now that we're getting out of this COVID madness, I'm probably going to start having guests for some of the watch-alongs. So that's going to be fun. I'll be able to have people over. Shit's about to get real. Shit's about to change. So, Clone Wars this week. Batman Forever next week. Kevin Smith Schmodown this Friday. New podcast tomorrow. Lots of stuff coming from me. I think that is going to do it for this. Oh, and the Shonen Jump app is only $2 a month. So everyone talking about the $2 donations. Boom, $2 a month. Shonen Jump app. $2 even. Clean. All right. I've been instructed as I wrap out from Hold My Brick to, as I wrap the show, give you my best finish him. And that's my best finish him. That's what I got. All right, much appreciated, y'all. I appreciate you. Lone Wolfpack is saying he's not physically, emotionally, or spiritually ready for episode 5 of Falcon. I totally get that. Thank you all. Hold My Brick. I hope that was a worthy finish him. I put the gusto there. Watch that movie. My buddy Lewis is in it. A lot of my friends are putting out a lot of really good work. Watch Synchronic for Justin and Aaron. Watch Mortal Kombat for the gloriousness and for the Lewis tanness. And yeah, tune in for some great stuff over at everywhere. Schmodown here, you know. I have a hard time wrapping the show, so I ended up just vamping. So for the people that are still at the end of the show, I'm so very sorry that you're just hearing me friendship. I'm just reading Mortal Kombat quotes as I see them pop up. That is, I'm just a talking monkey at this point. I'm just all right, guys. I appreciate you to the point where you get to see how I've done this show so far. This is how things have been with much snuggles and love. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thursday, Clone Wars. Tuesday, this, Batman Forever. Friday, Schmodown. Tomorrow, Coycast. And a final Streamlab for my Finish Him from Hold My Brick. All right, guys. Much love. Stay sane. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Keep not taking shit. Keep being good people. And yeah, just much love. I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.